Okay, so here, let's see, it's set up to have 25
dots.
25, yeah, dots moving around. Why don't you let this run and then tell me what you see?
Well, there's a lot of dots just bouncing around. Now here you can sort of see that this one like moved really far. It must be the Gaussian one again. So you can see there's sort of, some dots are clustered like in the middle, and there's a path. There's like a cluster of their paths in the middle. But some of them have like bounced really far and they've gone off screen.
Yeah, so I'll run it again. So what's different about this, the pattern that you see in the dots compared to what we saw before?
The other one we didn't, well, maybe it occurred, we just couldn't notice it, because now the dots didn't really seem to be moving long distances, but now with these paths we can see that there's a lot of dots that can just zoom away.
Okay. And so here, the distances that the dots jump are not coming from the Gaussian distribution.
They can just go anywhere?
Well, they're coming from a different kind of distribution. So a Gaussian distribution has a kind of a large probability of smaller jumps and then a very tiny probability of large jumps.
Okay.
This distribution is called a Levy distribution. And there's different kinds of Levy distributions, but these have much higher probabilities of big jumps. So you can see some really big jumps here.
Yeah.
So what does an individual dot do? Actually, take it down to one dot and tell me what you see. Yeah, right there. Right here. Yeah. So what does one dot do? So yeah, go press the back button and let's follow one dot. Tell me what you see.
Let's see. So it's moving sort of medium distances, then it sort of hovers around for a little while in this general area, and then it bounces really far off screen.
Let's see another one. Like that one actually jumped all the way off the screen. Let's see another one.
So this one sort of hovering, and now it just vanished off screen.
Huh.
And here it is. It's sort of coming, and we see another big jump right after that.
All right. Let's look at 5 together this time.
Let's see, they're all sort of, I mean, only 2 of them have made, no, 3 of them have made kind of really big jumps, but only 4 of them stayed on screen, and only one left the screen.
So what do you think this might, can you think of anything that this might describe? So some smaller walking around a little bit and then occasionally gigantic jumps.
Let's see. Maybe with the animals again, you could try maybe describing it as like a fly, but probably not. That wouldn't really work too well with it.
Okay.
It jumps occasionally. The other thing would be maybe if you shone like a laser and it kind of reflected off a bunch of mirrors, and then once it bounced off occasionally and just shoot away, and there would be like a straight area for it to go.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of anywhere.
That could be a good example. It's bouncing around. Most of the time it's close, but every now and then it like goes out the window and goes super far away before it hits something. And then these Levy distributions, you can actually have different kinds of them. So this one, does that remind you of anything? This is a different distribution.
This kind of looks like the distribution we had before a little bit.
Yeah, so there's a way we can modify or describe these distributions, the distributions we saw before, in sort of with the same idea of these Levy distributions. So there's 25 dots. That really does look a lot like what we saw before, right?
Yeah.
You don't see super gigantic jumps, but 25 dots here.
You see a lot of really big jumps.
Yeah, you see some really big jumps, and these it says it up here. It says they play a role in numerous systems in physics and also ecology and other fields.
Cool.
So not everything behaves where in tiny intervals, there's always only tiny changes. So not everything behaves like a dust particle bouncing around. Sometimes you have these things where small changes produce gigantic jumps.
Yeah.
And it's actually really interesting to see. It's important to study both. Is there anything else you want to say about this?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, good job, hon.